welcome back, guys. My name is Jay, and this is my Diecast Creations channel. And today is the day. Today is the day we give away our first giveaway for 100 subs. And also, we're going to celebrate Andrew at Maple Leaf Matchbox Makeovers, 1,000 subs in 1 year, which is amazing. He's been fully supportive of me and my channel, and this is the way that I can give back to him for being there as a day one, right? So his favorite car is Porsche. We did a vote off on my day ones, my first 100 subs. I think 26 of you guys participated, and you voted on the Porsche 914 Baja to be created as a post-apocalyptic Gaslands vehicle. So we brought it into the shop. Right here, it's on my number 2 truck. I gotta be honest, I wasn't fully excited about this car. It's not my favorite if I had to choose out of all the Porsches, but it did come as a Baja edition, so it was a little set up for the aesthetic of Gaslands, right? So right here, I'm just drilling out the post. I say this in all my videos. You got to be careful when you do this. Just take your time. I mean, the right way to do it is to use a vise. I just I don't have the patience to break the vise out and clamp it down and all that. So I just take my time and make sure that I don't slip and get it done. So here's a blown up view. The interior piece was one molded piece with the back in there with the spare tire and the little gas cans and all that stuff, the NOS containers, whatever you want to call them. And the front light bar was attached. So I knew right off the gate that I needed to make this car bigger. It wasn't big enough for what I wanted to do with it. So I started looking through cars. I came across the Matchbox Jeep, and I stole the cargo rack that goes up over the top with all those little additions in there, and it actually fit perfectly on the back of this car. Everything lined right up. I didn't have to really make any adjustments at all. So, that was a good call. So here we go with, I'm removing the axles from the base. I just use a pick tool, and I get up in there. It's a C-clamp. You pry it open. The axle pops right out. I kind of had a feeling I wasn't going to reuse the same spots. I wanted to stretch the wheelbase on this thing, which I do with a lot of my Gaslands cars. It just gives it a meaner stance and gives it that Baja, really off-road kind of look to it, right? So I did decide to keep the paint on this car. I don't do this with all my cars. I know like a few of my videos I've done the same thing, but I really like, for some reason or another, I like the yellow that Hot Wheels puts out. And I didn't have that exact color to match, so I decided to keep it. And it says Porsche on the side, and it's kind of a cool tempo, I guess. So I just decided to keep it one way or the other. So here I'm just using a file and gouging into the paint to kind of create battle scars, right? Battle scars. And this is a post-apocalyptic death race style, Mad Max, if you want to call it. That's what they do. They go out and they fight each other, and if it's going to be in Gaslands, it's a vehicle warfare game, right? So I just wanted to make it look like it had seen some battle and maybe had been through some rough days. So I take the file and I pretty much just gouge up a couple spots with the scars, and then I start eating into the paint, like on the fenders and stuff. I take the edge of the file and really get in there to crater it out, right? So I didn't want to bore you with 10 minutes of me filing, so I sped it up there. And then basically I go in with sanding block, which is the same thing as sandpaper. It's just got different grits on the different sides. I don't really care too much to to really choose which one I use. It's all doing the same thing. So I just go in and I start scratching up the paint to give it a good base for the next step that I do for the wash to really soak in, and to just to scratch up the paint and get rid of that shine, because they come clear coated, and they really shiny, and we don't want it to be shiny, right? We want more of a dull matte look. So basically, this is what you see. You know, it just looks rough. I decided to take the Dremel and remount some channels for the bigger axles, but this is what it looked like when I was done. So I was like, nah, that's not happening. So I took the Dremel and I reamed out 2 channels forward and back of those mounting points, and this is the stance that we got. At this point, the car does roll, and I end up getting rid of that later on, just because most of my Gaslands cars don't roll. You don't want them to roll on the table if you're playing, and I wanted everything to be legit and not move, right? So I started looking through my bits box. I found these guns that I found in a dollar store kit, and those plastic panels with the 3 holes in them, they were just used to secure packaging, right, on the inside. So I took the handgun, cut it in half, and we actually ended up with two guns here: a harpoon for the roof and a little mini machine gun sticking out of the front window. And then I took some dikes and a razor blade and I cut a channel in that packaging piece, right, to give it the look of the driver can see out, right, but he's got armor on the front window. So that's what happened there. I was messing around with some ideas, and I decided to put some fender flares on it. And this is just the plastic band that holds an olive oil container. It's a plastic band, but it's also got a piece of metal wire in there, so it kind of holds its shape, as opposed to like using a milk piece that you rip off when you go to open the milk, right? So that worked out really well. Tacky putty is a lifesaver when it comes to mocking up a vehicle, right? That's what I use before I glue anything. I wanted to fill this big hole in the back, so I put another mini monster truck wheel in the back there to make it, look good, and to fill the gap that was there, right? So tacky putty is not only used for mocking up the vehicle, but I use it when I paint too. It's good to hold little pieces to the helping hands, and put it on there, and it's good to go when you go outside to spray, right? So this is where we're at. The car is sanded and gouged with the file, and at this point I'm gonna take a brown wash. It's called Agrex Earthshade, and basically with the yellow, I didn't want to go black, so I went brown because it complements the color a little bit, and it's going to add to the wasteland aesthetic as far as, dirt and dust and, grime and grit, right? So I go really heavy with this stuff on the first pass, because you want it to soak into the under paint. I guess it would be the primer, but it's not primer because, whatever. We scratched up the clear coat, so you want the wash to soak into the paint, so you have something for your paint to stick to, right? If you just go in with regular paint after you sand, it's not gonna really stick the way that you want it to, and it's also to blend, right? So at the bottom of the door there, you see it where it pooled up. I just take a paper towel and get rid of the excess, and it actually left like a really nice contour that I liked. So now we're going to use Brown Oxide by Apple Barrel. Basically, this is an undertone of rust, and also it adds to the dirt effect that we're going to be looking for. I go in and I hit random spots, but I also want to concentrate on like those gouged areas around the outside of them. So what I'll do is like I'll dab it on to those cracks, and then I'll go in with a paper towel and blot off the main excess of it, right? And it kind of sticks to the outside of it. I didn't actually show in the video because my dad called. I hit those cracks with the Rise of Rust, which is Games Workshop rust paint. Just a little tiny bit, enough to orange it up and give it a little bit of a different contrast, right? So I'm going to speed it up here for you guys. Basically, just go crazy with it. You can go as far or as near as you want as far as the amount of rust and grime and grit that you want on the car, right? Um, Being that this is a Baja type of deal, I figured that it would be in the elements all the time, and I really wanted to weather this car a lot. So I did that. I went in with the brown oxide. I put down a base blotting, stippling effect, and then I grabbed the base of the car, this car was a three-piece, I believe, and you just that bottom um that bottom piece of that right there actually contours with the main body of the car, so I knew it was going to show, and I needed to blend it somehow. So I just went in and really heavily put the brown on there and gave it something to blend with, right? So now I'm gonna go in with the wheels and hit the rims the same way. This is just a base coat, something to give it a grimy look, and change the black primer that we used. I used black primer on the base. It's Rust-Oleum 2x flat black, and I used it on the base and the wheels. Right here, these are the front tires. I really go really hard with it, and then I end up blotching it off with the paper towel, and it takes it off of the raised areas and sits in the crevices, which is, just a technique that I've learned off of watching other people do these type of things, and I came up with my own system. So now we go in with typhus corrosion. Now, typhus corrosion is a very aggressive, gritty, grimy paint that will completely destroy a car if you don't use it right. What I do here is I go in aggressively with it, right? Because there's going to be certain spots that I don't want the paint to show. So I don't even care about the color of it. It's more or less the texture of it, right? It's got like a gritty kind of texture, like there's sand in there, but it's not sand. I don't know what they use. Maybe it is sand. But I end up using this all over the car, like, and I want certain areas to show through with the yellow and keep the tampos of the numbers and the Porsche and this, that, and the other thing. But on certain areas, I just start applying it very heavily because I want it to look dirty, right? So that's the look that we went for. I think we end up achieving it. And I end up fixing the spots where it's not so blended right here. I go back in with the Agrax Earthshade, and I apply another generous coat of it, which kind of takes the brown and the yellow of the two different colors, and it blends it a little bit. Enough to say, oh, this looks good, right? So now we're just blotting off the excess again. We don't want it to pool up at this point because we're working with kind of a finished coat. This is a mid coat. So I want to make sure that it doesn't dry and pool up here, so I take off as much as I can, to the point where I'm happy with it, right? So that's where we end up. This is the finished weathered part of it, right? And in my process, I go, primer or paint, whatever it is, and then we weather, and then we dust and dirt effect, depending on what type of thing we're trying to do, whether it's snow or mud or dirt or desert or whatever. So now I'm just adding the typhus to and the wash to the rims and the underbody there. My dad called again, and I didn't get to record. I dry brushed apple barrel chestnut onto the wheels, and then I end up going in with khaki color, and you'll see that coming up, but I didn't get the footage on it. I dry brushed the chestnut onto the chassis, onto the body there, and basically working from the bottom to the top, heavier at the bottom and lighter at the top, just to give it that look that dirt had kicked up off the wheels and off of a car in front or whatever. And now we go in with the khaki color, and basically make the sand effect that I try to chase on most of my cars that are supposed to be wasteland vehicles, right? Because this is a wasteland. There's not much grass or anything like that. We're running through the deserts. This is what you want the car to look like. So this also ties into me going so aggressive the with the typhus corrosion, right? Because the typhus corrosion gives it that gritty texture, and it raises certain areas of it. So now when you go back over it with a dry brush of this light color, it picks up on all those raised areas and really makes it pop, right? So what I mean by dry brushing, though, is for people that don't know, you want to wet the tip of your brush and kind of get it inside a little bit, right? And then scrape off most of it until there's really nothing there, and then lightly hit the car, right? So anyway, this is the supply rack that we stole off the Jeep. I just went in and detailed a couple little things. Wanted to give it some detail, you know, and we end up going over it with the sand effect, and it comes out looking pretty good, I think. So this is all the pieces of the puzzle. It's all broken down, and I ended up, you know, using tacky putty to put it all together, right? But now we take it apart, so it wasn't glued together, so it's easier to mock up. And we take it apart. I added a chain to the harpoon there, so, you know, to make it seem like if it fired and hit a vehicle, boom, now we're attached, we can do what we need to do. So basically that's the build, guys. It started off as a Porsche 914 Baja. This is the vehicle that we started with. It's a nice little car. It's got a lot of details as far as like a rally racing type of deal. Wasn't my favorite, but I think that we did it justice and turned it into a battle off-road vehicle that's ready for the wastelands. And you know, it's got some wear and tear, it's got some dirt and grime, it's got some weathered effects to it, and it's got weaponry in case we come across any bandits in the wasteland. So now we're gonna do the giveaway, guys. Thank you. So just so you guys know, I recorded this the night I finished the car, March 4th. It was like 1:30 in the morning, and I was shot. So my energy's a little low. I apologize for that. But here we go. We're going to do the giveaway here. Hey guys, so we just finished building the 100 sub giveaway 914 Porsche. And we just wrapped up the voting session for the 200 subscriber giveaway car. This Porsche was also part of Andrew at Maple Leaf Matchbox Makeovers celebration for 1,000 subs in 1 year. So what I wanted to do is make it official and get the copy and get the winner, right? So we're gonna go here, paste, boom, and then we're gonna go here, filter duplicates, filter comments based on specific text, and we're gonna say road 2, boom. Okay, we're going to get YouTube comments. 26 comments. And we're going to pick a winner. Good luck, guys. Outlaw Speed Shop. Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop it's kind of ironic because Keith was one of the first guys I ever saw on YouTube doing diecast restorations and customs, right? The first video I ever saw was Danny's Diecast Disasters. He was doing a post-apocalyptic war rig oil tanker thing. And then Outlaw Speed Shop actually came up on the suggested list, and it was the next video I watched. And I believe he was doing it was either a road runner or a challenger or something, and you know, I started watching his videos, and I got hooked really, because you could tell that he wasn't faking what he wanted to say and what he was doing, and it was no filter, and the work was exceptional. So it was just awesome to watch, and I started going down the rabbit hole. It got me started in the hobby. So for him to win my first giveaway is actually like kind of crazy. Anyway, thanks a lot, Keith, for everything that you've done for me unknowingly, over the last year, just watching your videos and giving me the inspiration to start my own channel, and the emails back and forth and all that, but that all goes unseen. Awesome. Congratulations, man. This 914 will be coming to you shortly. All right. This Monte Carlo is the winner for the 200 subscriber giveaway, and I'll be building it as a race car. So that'll be coming up within a month and a half or so, and I'll keep everybody posted on when that drawing will be. Thank you, everyone, for participating and supporting the channel, and catch you guys on the next one. Thank you.